Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Rakakudash, double honor to the apostles, the elders. Salutations to you, sincere brothers, teaching in truth and in sincerity. This lesson will be entitled, Ye Are Forgers of Lies, by SourcePressTV.com, and it states, Germany confirms report of U.S. threats of higher tariff on EU auto sector over JCPOA. This article was published on January the 16th, 2020. Germany has confirmed a report that the U.S. has threatened Germany, France, and Britain, the E3 states, with imposing a 25% of punishing tariff on European car exports if they fail to accuse Iran of breaking the 2015 nuclear deal. On Wednesday, the Washington Post reported that U.S. President Donald Trump's administration had issued the shocking private threat against the E3 states just a week before they jointly triggered the deal's dispute mechanism, which amounts to a formal accusation that Tehran had breached the agreement. All right. Donald Trump walked away from this agreement in May 2018. If you know anything about this joint comprehensive plan of action, all right, it was nothing but an agreement for Iran to put a cap or suppress nuclear development. If not, sanctions will be placed upon Iran. Now, when Donald Trump left, Germany, France, and Britain stated they will fulfill their obligations, so Iran would not walk away. However, these E3 states did not fulfill their obligations. Why? Because they were afraid of America. So Iran is now mad. Okay. And Iran has walked away. Let's go to Isaiah 55 and 20. Salakia. Psalm 55 and 20. He hath put forth his hands, referring to Esau, against such as be at peace with him. And you can equate this with the so-called Native American Indians, the tribe of Gad. He hath broken his covenant, right? Because Gad attempted to establish peace with the Edomites. However, Esau wanted Gad's land and their resources and things of that nature. Okay, so over a process of time, they established agreements through treaties, and what happened? Esau broke them all. Verse 21, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. Meaning, this man would literally shake your hand and pat you on your back, but war is always within his mind. He's always plotting your downfall, especially if you have something he wants. And it's no different with this joint comprehensive plan of action. Donald Trump walked away from the deal, okay, as well as these E3 states, okay, they did not fulfill their obligations, okay, and these E3 states are what? Edomite countries, okay. The landmark nuclear deal, officially known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, had been reached between Iran and 5 other countries, the U.S., Britain, France, Germany, Russia, and China. However, in May 2018, Trump unilaterally pulled his country out of the JCPOA and later reimposed the sanctions that had been lifted against Iran and began unleashing the toughest ever fresh sanctions, urging other signatories, particularly the E3 states, to withdraw from the deal with Iran. The trio submitted to the demand and refused to meet Iran's business interests under the deal despite an earlier pledge to do so. Typical Edomites. It states, for an entire year since Washington's withdrawal, Tehran remained fully compliant with the JCPOA, waiting for the co-signatories to fulfill their end of the bargain by offsetting the impacts of Washington's bans on the Iranian economy. As the E3 states failed to do so, Tehran moved in May 2019 to suspend its JCPOA commitments under Articles 26 and 36 of the deal covering Tehran's legal rights. Iran took its fifth and final commitment reduction step earlier this month. Okay. A day after the Washington Post report, Foreign Minister Zarif blasted the E3 states for Slovakia for bowing to American bullying and selling out the remnants of the JCPOA, which had been endorsed by the UN Security Council as a resolution. On Thursday, President Rouhani said Iran is now enriching more uranium than it did before signing the JCPOA, as the E3 states failed to fulfill their commitments. If they reduced their commitments, we did so as well, Rouhani further said as he slammed Trump for violating the deal and unilaterally pulling out of it. All right, let's go to Job 13:4. But ye are forgers of lies, referring to you Edomites. And when you go into that term forgers in the Hebrew, it means to paw, meaning to sew up. So what can you equate this to? Typing up these agreements. All right, you type these agreements. You're saying that you're going to do things and things you're not going to do. But at the end of the day, you don't fulfill your obligations. You are physicians of no value. Point blank, period. Why? Because you are not people of your word. Okay? You are not people of your word. Okay? Another point I want to make before I end is the sanctions on these E3 states. What this is doing is promoting hatred, envy, and ongoing friction amongst the United States and the EU. Why? To fulfill the will of the Most High, which is Revelation 17 and 16. And the 10 horns, referring to the EU. They started off as 10 countries. They added more countries to offset prophecy, which thou sawest upon the beast. These shall hate the whore. Who is the whore? The whore is America, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. Howso nuclear capability. For the Most High have put in their hearts, meaning their mindset, to fulfill his will, meaning the Most High's purpose, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. Okay, and we are in the end of the end. Lord willing, you're edified. Shalom.